This is the Troll Patrol, live with Justin FREAKIN.
Welcome to the Troll Patrol, live. It's a freaking Friday. I got the party lights on. And let me catch you up with what's been going on. We are coming on a little bit late tonight. My plan was to go live with the Senate in their Vote-A-Rama, which I thought was going to be going on by the time I came on with my show. No. A certain senator by the name of, he's still a right-winger and a moron. A certain senator by the name of Joe Manchin had delayed proceedings today. First of all, Ron Johnson, the Republican, asked that the entire bill be read. The Democrats agreed to it. They finished reading the bill around 2 o'clock this morning. Democrats passed an amendment to cut debate down from 20 hours to 3 hours. There was no Republican in the Senate chamber to object. The amendment passed. The Republican stunt to delay the vote backfired. However, Bernie Sanders opposed an amendment to raise the minimum wage. That happened at around 11 o'clock Eastern time this morning. And technically, that's still what is open at the moment. The vote on that amendment from 11 o'clock this morning. They have been behind closed doors for hours. The Senate has still not reconvened. I do have... I do have the C-SPAN up on the big screen. They have yet to come back into session. As you can see, C-SPAN says, deal reached on unemployment benefits. Voting continues tonight. This is the Vote-A-Rama portion of the bill. Debate has ended. We are close to a vote. Whenever this Vote-A-Rama ends, we will see a vote on the COVID relief bill. Democrats are hoping to pass it who do you mean has opposed it? Bernie was trying to get the $15 minimum wage put back into the bill. No. I'm sorry. This is I did a horrible job of explaining it. Bernie was trying to get the $15 minimum wage put back into the bill. Joe Manchin opposed it. Joe Manchin caused the logjam earlier today with the unemployment benefits. Also, so there were eight Democrats that voted against raising the minimum wage. One of them was the senator from Arizona. Why are you not typing? My keyboard is fucking up. One of them was the senator from Arizona who walked up and did this shit to vote against it.
Miss Cinema.
Voting against raising the minimum wage.
Miss Cinema.
I am so ashamed. Back around 2006, 2007, I had the biggest crush on this woman. She has been a complete letdown, and there's even been talk that she might switch parties and go to the Republicans. That's not the anti-war activist that mid-20s me was fawning over. I don't know what the fuck is up with them. No, 8 Democrats voted against the minimum wage increase for $15 that Bernie proposed an amendment for. Currently, we are awaiting the Senate to reconvene. A deal has been reached on unemployment benefits. They have been cut down. They were originally $400. They have been cut down to $300. But at least now they will expire at the end of September and not the end of August. That is the deal that they have reached. We'll go back to the Politico article. The Senate finally broke a logjam Friday night by agreeing to provide $300 a week in unemployment benefits through September 6th. I said the end of September. Fuck. Not even as good as I thought it was. In addition to $10,200 in tax relief for unemployed workers. So the first $10,200 of the unemployment money that you would receive will be tax-free now under this new agreement. The breakthrough comes after Senator Joe Manchin delayed a Democratic compromise on unemployment insurance for about 9 hours. That's the 9 hours that were just now winding down, essentially halting all activity on the Senate floor before he finally agreed to a deal struck by progressives and moderate Democrats. The tax-free status for unemployment benefits would apply only to households with incomes under $150,000 a year. The Senate can now proceed with a marathon Vote-A-Rama in which any senator can offer an amendment to Biden's bill before final passage of the legislation, which is likely on Saturday. It was originally going to be tonight. Joe Manchin is the reason why they haven't already passed this bill tonight. The two parties spent Friday afternoon battling for Manchin's support on changes to federal unemployment benefits, showcasing how a 50-50 Senate can instantly swing power to one holdout. Senate Democrats struck a deal on Friday over the boosted unemployment benefits in President Joe Biden's $1.9 trillion coronavirus relief package, shortly before debate on the bill reached its peak. Okay, this was the original article. My bad. This was from earlier. So we got the update. We are now waiting the Senate to come back into session. C-SPAN playing clips from earlier in the day from the actual debate, the 3 hours of debate on the bill.
And to parents who are asking how they are supposed to go to work when they don't have childcare and their kids can't go to school in person, wondering how they're going to pay rent, how they're going to pay to keep the heat on, and fearing what will happen if they cannot.
Before, something that's been blowing my mind all day. For any fans of Bob's Burgers out there, the actor that plays Jimmy Pesto was apparently at the Capitol riots and is now wanted by the FBI. He was in the Sarah Silverman program, Curb Your Enthusiasm, Rick and Morty, Community, all kinds of shit. And is apparently wanted by the FBI now. That has been blowing my mind all fucking day. Let me pull up the story over here. Jimmy Pesto. Who is Jay Johnston? Actor who voiced Jimmy Pesto on Bob's Burgers stormed the Capitol, was kind of a Trump guy. Spencer Crittenden, an actor who appeared on shows like Great Minds with Dan Harmon, Community, and Rick and Morty, wrote on Twitter, I mean, I think that's him in the pic, but even if it wasn't, he was definitely at the protest. On Thursday, March 4th, the Twitter account for the FBI tweeted a photo of one of the riders from the January 6th insurrection. Bureau tweeted, FBI still seeking information. Tweeted out this photo. Photo accompanying the tweet has many people wondering if the rider was someone they knew and have seen and heard on television many times. On the Bob's Burgers subreddit, a user claimed sharing a screen grab of the FBI tweet. Apparently, Jay Johnston, Jimmy Pesto, was one of the Capitol insurrectionists. Spencer Crittenden from Harmontown has confirmed it on his Twitter. The 52-year-old comedian is best known for his work as a writer and cast member on the HBO sketch comedy series Mr. Show. Officer Jay McPherson, the Sarah Silverman program. And Anchorman, Tenacious D. It looks like it's being confirmed by people that have worked with him and our friends. Fucking Jimmy Pesto. So, wow. Alright, back to the Senate. We are still waiting on the Senate to reconvene. Should happen any minute. They have reached a deal. There has been a stalemate for 9 fucking hours. Thanks to West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin, who is a dick. So we should continue with the Vote-A-Rama on amendments to the COVID-19 bill. This is still going to have to go back to the House for one last vote after it does finally pass the Senate. Democrats are hoping that Joe Biden will sign the bill this week. Unemployment benefits set to expire on March 14th. They sure are taking their sweet ass time. Apparently a deal was finally reached about 30 minutes ago.
How much of the fire to put out, or how much water to use.
They have reduced unemployment plus ups from $400 to $300, which is what it is currently.
Do it as fast as you can.
Under the December
Democrats are trying to do today.
unemployment expansion passed.
And I urge every single member of the Senate to support it.
And as you guys are well aware, I am definitely not high enough for this shit.
And in the Senate tonight, lawmakers voting on amendments to the nearly $2 trillion COVID-19 relief plan. So far, they've rejected increasing the federal minimum wage to $15 an hour over 5 years. It's an amendment offered by Budget Committee Chair Bernie Sanders. After the bill stalled for several hours on the floor, Democratic leaders have reached an agreement over unemployment benefits with West Virginia's Joe Manchin. The deal would extend the existing unemployment benefit through September 6th at $300 a week, as well as provide tax relief on benefits for households making under $150,000. Matt Fuller with the Huffington Post tweets, I know Manchin has his reasons, and I know the overall amount of money for unemployed people is about the same. But one senator...
So it can vary. I get a very good deal on mine because I buy in bulk from someone that I've bought from for years. So I pay about $500 for a quarter pound. If you buy just an ounce outright, I think he'll usually charge you. I think for other people he'll charge about $250. For me, I get it for $200. Just because, like, I'm sending fucking kids to college. Dang. First of all, I I had some friends come through here that got some shit from a dispensary, and I traded them some of mine. And my friend Sparkles actually slapped me in the face and said, "Stupid, your shit was better than theirs." Like, she looked up the different strains, and apparently, like, because mine, it is really fucking good. It's not the best pot I've ever had. When I first moved here, I was paying like $125 a quarter. But the shit was insane. Like, I smoked it with a couple of different girls that accused me of lacing it with something. And I warned them, I'm like, hey, this is the best shit I've ever smoked in my life. It will fuck you up. And both times they accused me of lacing it. And I'm like, no, it's just really powerful pot. But the shit I've got is very pretty. It is a strain with the initials BB. I know that. Blueberry something or other, probably. Wow, 80. But like, you're saying cheap weed. Like, I want to smoke a fucking shit ton. See, I wouldn't know what the percentage of mine is, but as I said, Sparkle said ours was better than. She's the one, because she makes hash out of it. She makes butter and shit like that. So she's cooking with it. She knows the exact amounts. Like, I don't even give it. Like, I didn't even know what. I think ours was 30 something. Like, seriously, she said it was insane. Because like the shit they brought me from the dispensary was like the top shelf stuff, and she said the stuff I had was better. The Sparkles and I get from the same guy, and that's another reason why my guy gives me such good deals. Is like all the Sparkles, and she's cooking fucking butter and shit. She came over one night and she had made tinctures or whatever, the fucking drops and shit. He put like 300 milligrams in my milkshake. I was laying in the fucking floor. And I smoke all day, every day. Yes. And I don't really care much for edibles. I definitely like to smoke my shit. I don't like the body buzz, and also like I did some pot. Well, usually when I get edibles, it's friends have made them, so like they're higher content. Cause like I had a friend make some brownies for Primus, maybe. I can't remember who. We go to so many concerts, or did pre-COVID. But I went up there for Primus, and he had some brownies. And that was the first time I'd ever really done edibles. And fuck yeah, Primus. Dude, I'm out in the lobby getting a beer, and a dude comes up. He's like, "Hey, you excited?" I'm like, "Fuck yeah, Primus sucks! Primus sucks!" And like people start chanting and everything, and he's like fucking dumbfounded, like, "Why would you say that?" I'm like, "Oh, it's your first time, cool." This is the first time I took my girlfriend in college. She's like, "Why are they chanting Primus sucks?" Like, it's a term of endearment. Fucking love them though. Fantastic show. If you've never seen, and probably one of the best values. Because I mean, like, if you see them on their own, you're probably gonna pay $30, $40. You're gonna see them in a mid-sized venue, and they're gonna put on a fantastic show. Oh shit, I love that. I love that eclectic kind of progressive rock, funky shit. Oh dang! See, I was supposed to see Lennon Claypool Delirium. They were gonna be at Bonnaroo this year, and I was really looking forward to that. I was gonna go to Bonnaroo. I was gonna see all kinds of fucking people at Bonnaroo this past year. Fuck COVID. They've announced a festival in Birmingham, Alabama. People sent it to me. I didn't really care much for the lineup, and also I don't think I'm going to be going to a concert this year as much as I like concerts. We'll see how things shake out, but I'm not trusting that the United States of America is in any position to be holding mass gatherings in the fall. Just an educated guess on my part. Oh fuck yeah, man! Like I've got the surrounds. I just upgraded to surround sound. That's what I spent my first stimulus check on. I was saving up for it anyway. But we got that first set of stimulus checks. I'm like, fuck yeah, 4K TV and surround sound. But honestly, like, when I really want to listen to something, the headphones. Plus the neighbors, they already hate. I shake the fucking apartment. You're still waiting on the Senate to reconvene any minute now. Yeah, I watched Ready Player One the other day because I downloaded like every fucking 4K movie you can watch. Just kind of been going through, like, I always give my buddy like three, like, here's my 3 picks I'm into tonight. Pick which one I'm gonna watch. You picked Ready Player One of whatever I picked for him last time. Like, it fucking shook the apartment. Oh hell yeah. I highly encourage using government money to invest in yourself and your dreams. My next check is almost certainly going to a green screen setup over right on that side. My dining room is going to become a studio. I've thought about putting a sound booth in my closet in my bedroom. I don't know. It's like, it's only gonna be a couple $100. I got all the parts to build another computer. Oh no, I'm not talking about the green screen for doing. No. The green screen is for other projects, for comedy videos, or like having people come over. Because I run a business besides doing this shit. I do audio video production. So like I can do local commercials out of my fucking apartment and sell to the TV stations and shit. So that's what the green screen is for. That's for other business. Thank you, sir. I have thought about switch, but once again, I mentioned that I did the surround sound. To do this would be to be down all day fucking rewiring everything. I've thought about actually turning my setup and putting the flag. Like, I really like that window with the fucking lights in it and shit. Like, it looks really cool. And then, like, putting the flag catacornered over there and doing that as my background. So you actually see the flag behind me. And then also, during the summer, I'm on during the daylight. And like, I have an awesome view of, like, the woods and the sun sets over the city and shit. So it would be cool to see the sun going down behind me. I'm contemplating it. However, I do not want to do all that wiring work. Cause I had a lady friend over the other day, and she was talking about how much of a bitch it was to hook up a DVD player to her TV. I'm like, come look behind my TV. It is an insane mess of, because remember, not only is like surround sound coming from my sound card, but all this video, like I've got fucking a shit ton of monitors, all this video equipment, capture devices, and this board. It is an insane amount. I had to get fucking 3 power strips to hook everything up. I can't believe they're not back on the floor already. Unless, like, you know, the like Chuck Schumer needed to go eat some lunch or something after doing the negotiations with the Blue Dog Democrats, specifically Joe Manchin. That's what I'm worried about. They wanted to have this shit wrapped up this weekend and have it on Biden's desk by Monday, Tuesday, him sign it by midweek, and give themselves some cushion. It looks like it's going to go to the wire, and But just to catch everybody up, it's been Joe Manchin had a 9-hour delay on Senate proceedings this afternoon. They have cut unemployment from $400 down to $300, a plus up on top of state benefits. But they are going to make the first $10,000 and some change tax-free. So in a way, it's kind of a wash. Joe Manchin does have no soul. Joe Manchin is a gigantic piece of shit. I have no clue how he gets elected in West Virginia. And it's like Sam Cedar even brought this up the other day. The Republican governor of West Virginia was talking about how the $2,000 check wasn't enough. How is the Democratic senator from West Virginia holding this shit up? He was already governor. He was governor before he was senator. So yeah. He was the governor of West Virginia. I don't know if it was before Jim Justice. It's currently, but Manchin was the governor because he was the governor of West Virginia when I was doing news, and part of my coverage area was in West Virginia. I don't think I ever met him though. I did meet Congressman Nick Rahal, who was serving from West Virginia at the time. That was under really shitty circumstances, though, because I was covering a tragic mine accident where fucking like 3 or 4 miners died. That was when my ass made its cable television national debut when I walked behind CNN stand-up. Oh, I do not doubt it. Where is Schrader from? Was he one of the ones from New Hampshire? Oh, Oregon. There were 2 senators from New Hampshire voted against the minimum wage increase. Yeah, I was thinking about the minimum wage increase. The 8 Democrats that voted against that. The 2 senators from Delaware voted against the minimum wage increase. Still waiting on the Senate to reconvene. This is supposed to be a Vote-A-Rama on amendments to the COVID-19 relief bill. Exactly. Delaware. If anybody doesn't know this, there's a reason why, like, all the financial companies, all the credit card companies and shit, when they send you shit, it's all from Delaware. The laxest financial laws in the country in Delaware. By the way, where is our current president? Where was he the senator from? What state did he represent? Oh shit, Delaware. Something needs to be done about the payday loan industry. I'm glad you brought that up. There are so many fucking problems facing this country. I understand that the Democrats can't get to everything all at once. But payday loans definitely need to be prioritized. That industry, which has grown like a fucking cancer, needs some fucking regulation. They're charging 300-400 fucking % interest, and that's if you pay on time. That shit gets jacked up to like 1,000 fucking %. If you default, which you're almost certainly going to do, they are set up to fail, to trap you. It is disgusting. Oh, it's absolutely brutal. And then, like, I've seen them go in and do the dockets, you know, where they sue to try to fucking collect. And, like, they're expecting a good majority of people to default and to take them to court. And they are fucking vultures about it. And I wouldn't doubt that they were, because one of the companies that ran all the ones in Eastern Kentucky back when I was doing news, they had like one specific lady that went to the courthouse, you know, went however often it was, 2 or 3 times a week, to look through the dockets, consult with the, you know, clerks and everything. I wouldn't doubt they're greasing the court systems. It is predatory as fuck. If Elizabeth Warren wants to earn some respect back, that should be a pet project of hers. Instead, I have a feeling she might go after trading apps. Her statement about the Robin Hood debacle kind of worried me. She equated the two sides. I think clearly one side is worse than the other. She made it sound like manipulation of the markets, you know, whether it be on Reddit or be at a giant firm, is bad. I don't like false equivalencies. I cannot believe they haven't reconvened. It's almost been an hour since they reached a compromise with gigantic pain in the ass Joe Manchin. Politico reported this at 8:11 p.m., so it's been about an hour since they reached their compromise. We are expecting the Vote-A-Rama to resume. C-SPAN still playing speeches from earlier in the day. I need to pack a bowl.
Come in with the American Rescue Plan. We need to pass it. $50 billion of additional help directly to small businesses to make the EIDL advance really work for those in low-income communities so they can get their full $10,000 grant that we intended them to receive so that we can make that
Now,
work.
I will say they are being more charitable with children this time. If you have dependency. If you have a dependency on drugs. If you have dependents, you will get $1,400 per dependent.
$25 billion. Well, here's the fact.
So I got a buddy with 3 kids. Those kids are paying off.
We are 2 million jobs less in the restaurant field.
You're getting ready to get you a nice little chunk.
COVID-19. 2 million jobs less. The National Restaurant Association estimates that 110,000 restaurants have either shuttered for good or shuttered today as a result of COVID-19. We need to direct help to the restaurant community. The Shutter
We need
Venue
direct
program
help
needs additional support. So an
making
extra
PS5
$1.5 million
restocks
to
more
provide
widely
Shutter venues.
available.
Now,
I
just
get
think
Xbox
about
Series
the
X
Meriwether
too
Post
if you're
Pavilion
into that
located
kind
in
of
Howard
shit.
County, Maryland. I've been there many times. Has not operated since last March. They need help. 1,000 jobs are dependent upon the Meriwether Post Pavilion. And I'm sure every one of my colleagues can
I
mention
almost had one from
their home
Walmart
state
yesterday.
that have been shuttered as a
Now,
result
I don't spend money at
of
Walmart.
COVID-19 that need that help. We provide
I have not spent money at Walmart in 17 years, but I was going to drop $400 at Walmart yesterday.
that need help. Johns Hopkins University has done a study and shown that the employment level in our nonprofit
Just happened to have my phone in my hand this morning because I troll people of the morning after I wake up. Best Buy had a drop,
occurred. We know the great work that they do
but it did not want to let me hit the button on my phone, so I rushed in here on the computer. The drops came in waves. I had a PS5 in my cart multiple times. But don't get me wrong, I'm kind of lax on this shit. My buddy was asking like, why are you doing? Because I'm having fun with it. To be honest with you, I kind of enjoy the rush.
Another reason why
I haven't been doing this since November. I just got in on this like 3 or 4 weeks ago, trying to get one of these because I was gonna wait until after the new year. I figured it would be a lot easier, to be honest with you.
they need through a community navigator. Oh, yes, we have the women's.
I was seconds away on PlayStation Direct last time they had a drop.
And I think the record.
I was in the store
Let me say.
when I went to put it
Yes,
in my
we need to
cart.
pass the
Sold
American
out.
Rescue Plan for the direct help to small businesses, but they also need our economy to
I
return.
like
to some
PlayStation
degree of
Direct the
normalcy.
best because it
That's
has
why the
a
help for
random
opening
queue.
Our schools, the help for state and local government, the help for families and direct payments and unemployment insurance, SNAP.
Plus, I don't like
benefits,
Walmart.
COVID
I do not want to
protection.
give my money to
Why the
Walmart.
Vaccine distribution is so important. The Medicaid expansion, housing assistance.
will,
and
though.
I could go on and on and on. America needs the American Rescue Plan, and they need it now. Democrats worked with the Trump
But Walmart
administration
definitely had the
to help
shittiest drop
during that
of
administration. Republicans
all the
need
companies.
to join us in helping the American people. Let's pass
the most time-consuming one as well.
and let's do that as soon as possible. With that, Mr. President, I would yield the floor.
And in the Senate tonight, lawmakers voting on amendments to the nearly $2 trillion COVID-19
Oh
relief
man, oh
Local
man,
reporting tonight
this
on the deal
dude,
reached in the Senate on
this
unemployment
dude
assistance.
is
The agreement over benefits
he's been trying to
taking
come
up
at
the
me all
so-called
day.
Vote-A-Rama all day. So far, they've rejected an increase in the minimum wage to $15.
Let's see if we can get him to call
It's just
in.
one of 100 or so amendments to the bill. Since the measure has been stalled for several hours on the floor, Democratic leaders have reached an agreement over unemployment benefits with West Virginia's Joe Manchin. The deal would extend the existing unemployment benefit through September 6th at $300 a week and provide tax relief on benefits for households making under $150,000. Votes on amendments are expected to continue throughout the night before final passage. We've heard tonight also from White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki, who says President Biden supports the agreement. The president held a discussion with community activists on the $1.9 trillion plan. He talked about the importance of sending checks directly.
We'll see if we can get the dumb fuck to call in.
Open schools. We'll take a look at his
It
remarks.
sure didn't go well for him earlier. And holy shit, he can't spell. I do actually have a
Welcome you all to the White House and thank you for coming.
Have a screen
Thank you
grab here.
For your service to others. And with that, I will turn it over to the President of the United States.
Thanks for being here, everybody. This is important, and I appreciate you being willing to come and tell your stories. I wanted this to be a conversation about what the impact of the $1,400 that our plan has for every American out there, and to make sure that
So he edited his comment and he still couldn't get line right.
And I also
So hopefully Mr. Moran
you're about to
gives
meet
us a call here in just a little bit.
help with this. I think with this check, that's going to make a big.
That sure would be fun. That would be a fun way to spend a Friday night. If he calls in, I will say fuck it to the Senate.
Checks being cut out.
We'll argue with him. We'll call it a
7
day.
million kids don't have enough food. 13 million people are behind
He
the
kept coming at me on a thread, and I kept making him look like a bitch.
I believe, and according to polling data, the vast majority of Americans believe is essential to giving them some help and to turn it around. And I think it's going to provide immediate.
The phone lines are open, 917-830-4359, if you'd like to call in and fuck around and waste some time.
The economy in the process.
Till the Senate reconvenes, we do have more people filing into the chamber. It does look like we might actually get some action going here in just a little bit.
Gone under, affecting entire communities. And it is
I even delayed the start of my show by 30 minutes
the upper hand against COVID-19.
because they weren't in session, and this is what I had planned for tonight because I was being lazy. I didn't want to do show prep.
It's about you. It's about people like you and families I grew up with all.
Come on, Moran.
And, you know, you've all lived lives of service. You not only have taken care of yourself.
Oh, while we wait and listen to
And so, this isn't an academic discussion.
Beijing Biden, as the right wing calls him, despite the fact that I can't tell that he has any connections to
I'm
China.
going to hand it back to Cedric so we can hear from you all while the press is still in here.
Well, thank you, Mr. President. Today we're joined by three outstanding Americans that exemplify what America stands for, and especially your values, which is service to others. And first we have Ms. Alma Williams. Ms. Williams is a paratransit driver. She transports disabled Americans every day. She has 4 wonderful children. And
Also, shout out
she's in the
to
process of applying to
Raining
college.
Morning Candles.
The other,
I'm
two are in
burning-
college and one is on her way. So,
Well, I guess not burning. I have a
close to
tart
being
warmer
an
going
empty nester. Then we have
with wax that is actually
who
named after me. I've got the
served,
muffins
United States Navy for almost 8 years.
from a tart warmer,
Served on
and it
2
smells
Air Force
fantastic.
carriers. And he volunteers, but also is starting a nonprofit small business.
Men,
to
if you
help
don't know what a
people
tart
with,
warmer is,
substance
I did not. I thought it was something for dessert.
effects, and he
That was
has,
some fancy thing
issued
for
many,
dessert that I didn't need. No, a tart warmer is how you make your house smell good.
that burned down, and I know that you know that experience.
Candles are not the way. Tart
And
warmers
he's just a
are.
remarkable
Get
individual.
one.
And then
Changed my life.
Venegas, who volunteers at a DC Community Health Center and spends her time counseling and helping Americans get through this very rough time. And she has seen the effects firsthand of the challenges and the pain and the suffering that American citizens are going through, which is particularly.
I need to try to
say,
stop
through no fault
planning my
of
shows around
and with that, Mr. President, I'm
what
gonna
the fucking Senate or the House is gonna
turn
do.
it over to Ms. Williams so that
They are very unpredictable.
tell us about what she thinks about the American Rescue Plan.
But I guess,
Wonderful plan.
who put them in charge of making the laws, right?
As well as being a
Oh.
public transit operator, I'm also a union rep for the ATU.
ATU.
Yes, sir. And, just hearing the things that, my coworkers.
You gotta love that C-SPAN just doesn't leave it on
stating,
the camera. They try to entertain you. Here, let's play some clips from earlier.
Of less than 40 hours.
It's
a
cool
week,
to C-SPAN.
And as I stated to a colleague of mine, we had a time where we paid our bills on the 1st of the month, and now we're struggling to pay them on the 15th. Just
And you're
to
still
avoid-
employed.
Yeah.
And if you're trying to pay them on the 15th, it's even worse. You got late charges on there.
Emotionally, like of
It
course,
costs more to be poor.
adults, and it's just I thank you for the plan. I think it'll help a wide range of people, not just the working class.
By the way, this relief bill is incredibly popular. There's like 56% of Republicans.
Grade school
Voters, not Republican politicians.
and just the transition
56% of
of going
Republican voters are for it.
all day stuck behind the computer. It's
76% of
and they don't.
the country as a whole is for it.
Thank you.
Okay.
I appreciate
I have a lot of questions, but I'm going to wait till we hear Well, the press is here to hear from all three people.
Yes, sir.
And I'd like to talk more about
Yet we've got dickweeds like
Thank you, Mr.
Joe
President.
Manchin.
With
The
that-
fucking minimum wage increase is overwhelmingly popular.
it.
Thank you, Mr. President. With that, we'll turn it over to you, Mr. Kirk.
Even people tweeted out Kristen Cinema from 7-8 years ago, tweeting out that $15 need to be the minimum wage. Yet she voted against it today.
As you said, I lost my home in November 30th, 2019, and then right after
It's sleazy.
and then COVID happened.
And not in like a good Kesha kind of way.
Have not contracted COVID, but it's led to a lot of other issues. And being having my own LLC, it's very difficult to find contracts right now because
So there is more activity going on the Senate floor.
don't have the funding to get the support they need. And so I do a lot of work
So I'm assuming we are getting close. But I've been saying that since we've been on the air.
where we have a reach out and touch someone who talks to seniors, LGBTQ seniors, about isolation and being in contact with them.
If they're not back by the top of the hour, I'm calling it quits.
Real important, and
There's no way I'm gonna stick with them.
And they're for mental health services because it's incredibly.
But I'm very interested to see what this Vote-A-Rama session actually looks like,
My community, the LGBTQ,
where senators from both parties are able to make amendments
and
to the bill, rapid fire votes.
around that needs to be addressed. And I'm hoping and praying that you will be able to sign in law.
Votes in the Senate take a hell of a lot less time than in the House.
Last but certainly not least is Ms. Lita Venagas.
If you've been on stream with me when we've been watching House votes, they take like a fucking hour here in the pandemic era.
Mary Center being me here, to share the story of the many families that we have served during this pandemic.
Senate votes
For those of you who don't know, Mary
take
Center
around
is
7 or 8
health
minutes.
center. We are a federally qualified health center, and we serve over 60,000 families in the DC region.
I can show you
We have been in service for
what
30
Kristen Cinema did earlier today
years.
when she walked up for a vote.
Seen it all, especially during this pandemic.
Miss Cinema,
The beauty of Mary Center, the way I said, is
In
that
her cute little dress,
Miss Cinema, Miss Cinema,
little hip shake,
not only medical,
voting down the minimum wage.
educational service.
I assume harking back to John McCain.
Cinema,
Families and move them back up to the economic ladder, especially during this.
That's not McCain's seat, is it? That she's in.
If not mistaken, a year ago today.
Or is it?
the first case
Is it
of
McCain's
COVID
seat, maybe?
in Maryland, right? And
Or is Kelly in McCain's seat?
since day one, Mary Center has been on the front lines in the response and recovery process.
I can't
So far,
remember.
we have done more than 20,000 COVID
Trying to be
rather than, unfortunately, have been positive.
a millennial
We
McCain.
serve about, from our 60,000 participants, we serve around 70.
Doesn't really make any sense.
And, minorities have been very impacted.
Yeah.
And so we received the vaccine back in December. We have vaccinated around 1,200 individuals. But if you put it in perspective, serving
I am
60,000
totally not high enough for this
and
shit.
let's say 50% are adults over 18 that can get the vaccine. So we still have like almost 30,000 people that still need the vaccine. But we know, Mr. President, that will multiply in a few weeks because we're trustful that you will deliver on the promise of vaccinating 100 million people soon, right? And so, if you ask me what our families have gone through,
So a deal has been reached.
everything, just
The Senate has.
Alma's and George's stories, just
They have not been recessed.
the same situation.
They've been delayed.
That's the main thing, that.
Senators have been in closed-door sessions,
We have unstable housing, food insecurity. They're
negotiating over
trying to
unemployment.
visit the side, the food distribution side, and that's every day. Then they do long lines, and next day they have to do the same. And so
Democrats was hoping to have this passed
Now they're moving
tomorrow.
to live together. And And so they're sleeping on couches, on the floor. They're always at risk of being infected. And because they have lost jobs, a few of them have kept
Last I saw, they were still shooting for
they still need to go outside.
late into the night, early tomorrow morning.
They come back and they have the families, right? So, is this
But I'm kind of doubting at the pace they're going.
children don't have laptops. We have been able to distribute about 1,000 laptops or more. But, if they
The
have,
vote will probably happen sometime tomorrow
okay, they all
afternoon.
be in school on the same day. So
But
they
once
have-
again,
or they don't have internet connection.
Who knows?
So there's a lot around that, and we've been trying to support as much as possible.
Well, thank you for.
if I had to bet on it, I would put money on it being later than sooner.
Card, I list on a daily basis how many people have died.
And yes, the worry is
in the
that
United States.
they are going to come right down to the wire, not even meet the March 14th deadline.
24, not over 500,000.
It would have been nice if they could have passed this shit. They said $2,000 out the door. The implication was that they were going to pass this COVID relief bill immediately.
572,848 shots. We're going to get this done.
We are a month and a half into the Biden administration.
And the Senate voting on amendments to the
2 months
$2 trillion COVID-19 relief plan. So far,
of a Democratic majority in the Senate.
but the vote has not been called yet, as the measure has stalled for several hours on the floor. C-SPAN's Craig Kaplan tweeting the Senate just set a new record for its longest vote. Minimum wage increases amendment vote on $1.9 trillion COVID-19 relief bill began at 11:03 a.m. this morning Eastern Time and is still open. The old record was 10 hours and 8 minutes set in 2019. And until a short time ago, that measure has been stalled. Democratic leaders announced an agreement had been reached over unemployment benefits. Shortly after, the White House issued a statement that President Biden supported the agreement, saying he was grateful to all the senators who worked so hard to reach the outcome. It would extend supplemental unemployment benefits into September, as well as provide tax relief on benefits for households making under $150,000, and includes $1,400 relief checks to individuals. Votes on amendments are expected to continue throughout the night tonight before final passage. We heard earlier from Senate Republicans. Here are their remarks.
Oh yeah, this is going to be fun. Lindsey Graham taking the podium.
Makes you appreciate D-Day, doesn't it? Where's the chart? Yeah. Chart people.
Oh, they've got visual aids.
So, I don't know how each of you got the job of covering the Senate, but I'm sorry.
I would, as a former news guy, I would enjoy having the Senate
The first
be.
vote was taken at 11 o'clock. It's 4:20, and we've been sitting around. And for what reason?
Fuck, Lindsey Graham said it's 4:20.
Biden, in his inaugural address, said that he wanted to change the dynamic in Washington and define unity. And I think that was welcome news to most Americans, including me. This is one area where we've actually had unity. So on March the 5th, 96-1, 8 billion. March 18th, 2020, 90-8, 35 billion for COVID. March 25th, 2020, $1.9 trillion, 96-0, about a year ago. So as we knew more about COVID, the more we appropriated, and we did it together at every turn. If you told me that you could spend...
Yeah, so why are you not doing it now?
...voice vote, I wouldn't have believed it. That's what we did in April of 2020. September of last year, 8 billion, 84-10.
I mean, he conveniently leaves out the bills that the House passed that the Senate wouldn't take up.
So what we've been able to do, working with Democrats and Republicans, is to appropriate $4 trillion in a bipartisan manner. Here's the question for the American people. What the hell happened? We had the House They had the House, we had the Senate and the White House.
You lost an election. That's what happened, Lindsey.
So they've chosen a partisan path. And the reason we're not doing it together now is
you Republicans are the minority now, and you no longer control the White House.
That's unrelated to COVID, that none of us are going to buy into, and I'll talk to you about that.
There is nothing you're going to buy
It's an
into.
opportunity to appropriate money for their liberal wish list using COVID as the reason. And that's why we're here. Now, why we've been waiting
There is a little truth to that point.
There is some bipartisan
Because of the filibuster and the gridlock in the Senate.
unpardonable sin on the other side. We believe we have some
Democrats are trying
who
to
read the bill yesterday,
pass everything they can through this reconciliation
and found some
bill.
things they didn't like, sat down with some Republicans to find a better way, and the result is we've done nothing for 4 hours and 20 minutes to break somebody.
But I don't believe that the intention was ever
to President Biden, is this
for it to
the new way
just be relief. It's relief
nothing
plus
new about
recovery.
He's been on the phone trying to talk Democrats out of working with Republicans to change the unemployment insurance benefits, I think, in a reasonable way. What is this all about? The unemployment benefit plan they have in their partisan bill results in 68% of the people on unemployment making more unemployed than they did at work. And we think that's not right, and some Democrats, we believe, agree with us.
Well, then why didn't you vote for the minimum wage increase?
We went from 400
I agree it's not right, Lindsey. People need to make more money at work, not less for unemployment.
Can tell you that employers are having a hard time opening up their businesses because of finding labor. So there seems to be a bipartisan breakthrough.
Well, there's a pandemic. Don't you think they should have hazard pay? They should have bonuses. Isn't that what you're supposed to do? If you can't find work, it's equilibrium in a capitalist society. If you can't find people to work for you, what do? You raise the amount of money that you offer in order to attract the worker. Supply and demand, Lindsey Graham.
Have we worked together and we've stopped for a wrong
You don't
reason?
cry to the fucking government. Ooh, I can't find people to work for my fucking slave wage.
Administrative actions, there's $200 billion left unspent. The legislative actions that resulted in Republicans and Democrats finding common ground to the tune of over...
That is definitely the conservative wish list. The
$1 yet to be spent.
Federalist Society approved judges
Reserve has money available to business.
working with the Heritage Foundation.
2.8 trillion has been spent. So our message is pretty simple.
And, like, you bring up an excellent point. It's the messaging of the Democrats. They aren't on the TV attacking Republicans the way they should be.
And Chuck Schumer has brought the whole thing to a stop. And I don't know.
But I don't think
Manchin has gone through for the last 4 hours.
a lot of them want to attack the Republicans.
Biden's inaugural speech rings hollow. Instead of trying to bring us together, he's on the phone making sure a couple of Democrats will not work with the Republicans. And that's so sad.
I want to work in communications for the Democrats. If they were smart, they would hire me.
Because a couple of Democrats...
I would be their answer to a Roger Stone, to a Karl Rove.
What's in this bill that makes us all a little upset? $20 million for the preservation and maintenance of Native American languages.
I'd be on fucking MSNBC calling Republicans dumb fucks or whatever the MSNBC censored equivalent is.
Appropriation process. $135 million for the national.
I'd come up with something. Oh yeah, right wingers and morons. That's right. That's my catchphrase.
I'm sorry if it bothers people on the other side.
I already did come up with a censored version.
So that's why we could not find common ground. Nobody asked.
Lindsey Graham definitely deserved that.
Find it. People try to undo it. So that I'll turn it over to Senator Thune, who's been managing this bill. But the president,
Senator Thune, who the other day stuck his foot in his mouth.
Rings hollow, my friend.
Talked
You
about
could
how
pick
he
up
was
the
making
phone and
$24
end
an
this
hour
right
in
now
today's money.
by leading us to a compromise on unemployment insurance.
So why should they
Makes
raise
sense for the
wages?
American people and the American economy. I wish you would do it. Instead of trying to break apart bipartisanship, try to bring us together. That's my challenge. Thank you, Lindsay. I think Lindsay's covered it well. And I guess I would just say that he is managing as our ranking Republican on the Senate Budget Committee.
The minority
process,
whip.
we hope would be going a little bit smoother than it is right now. But that,
He looks like a John Thune, doesn't he?
And it's now 5.5 hours actually, almost 5.5 hours since the last vote started.
Well, sir, it's been double that. It's been about 10.5 hours.
There was an amendment that we were prepared to offer that actually had bipartisan support. The Democrats have gone back behind closed doors.
Like, if I told you to draw a picture of a man named John Thune, you didn't know what John Thune looked like. You'd draw a man that looked like that, right?
Not to work with Republicans. And on an amendment, frankly, that saves $100 billion and makes a lot more sense when it comes to policy. So we're stuck right now where we are. And
what kind of things did the kids in school?
But I do feel really bad
Pay to
for
make
those
fun of him.
Democrats who have tried to reach out and work with Republicans. There was an effort made, I think, as you know, early on. There were a number of Republicans who came up with a proposal that's significantly smaller in terms of its overall price tag than the one.
God, I'm stupid.
Today, but at a size that most analysts and economists
Can't blame it on the
now
pod.
believe is much more aligned with what the need is out there. The Democrats' $1.9 trillion wish list is a bloated, wasteful, and very partisan bill. And it's really unfortunate at a time when a president who came into office suggesting that he wanted to work with Republicans and create solutions in a bipartisan way and try and bring the country together and unify. The first thing out of the gate is a
Well, I mean, it's clear that he gave Republicans the opportunity. He
one-party rule without
gave them a meeting in the White House.
with Republicans or consideration of our ideas.
Another one wrote a letter to him and wanted some kind of meeting.
Goodies in there for Democrat special interest groups. We think that's really unfortunate, and as I said, hope it isn't a sign of things to come, because I do believe that Republicans are here to try and solve problems for the American
On the
people.
Republican front, so far, Biden has done the right thing, like paid them lip service, and then been like,
Distribution of vaccines, it means helping frontline healthcare providers. It doesn't mean bailing out big blue state governments or adding unrelated provisions, including in the bill that came over from the House.
The Democrats haven't been as strong as they were back in 2007 after they won
Speaker Pelosi.
the majority in Congress. Like Nancy Pelosi came out with elections have consequences.
Impact the country or anybody that's
Really knocked down that bullshit.
extended out into the future, 22 to 28. 95% of the money that goes to the schools doesn't get spent this year. It gets spent 2022 to 2028. It's hard to argue that that's a really emergency. So we're going to do everything we can to try and improve this bill. We hope that we...
I mean, that's all they got. That's such weak sauce.
Unemployment insurance is an important issue. But
They don't spend it right away.
encourages people to go back to work where we can get this economy opened up.
It's a liberal wish list. Like, nobody takes them seriously.
Legislation works entirely.
This is why everyone voted, because you have... The thing is like, there's no Republican alternative plan. They haven't presented, like, the $600 billion bill
Well, clearly
didn't even include checks to anybody.
Bipartisan.
Was that going to fly with any fucking American?
Certainly in terms of spending in the history of
That's what I've got to say to these stupid ass Republicans.
bipartisan.
76% of the American people support the bill. It's your job to come over to what the people support. If you want to keep talking about unity,
No question that the 10
you need to unify with the majority.
specifically to COVID could have passed and been signed into law on January 21. The money for vaccines, the money for delivery, the money for community health systems that would be a big...
I agree that they should have broke some shit off and voted on it
First full day
separately.
of the Biden administration might have even happened on a voice
But I mean,
vote.
also it's leverage that they tie it to something that needs to be passed.
The other parts of this largely don't relate to anything related
There's some sort of,
or the economic
consequence
stress of COVID.
politically
They could also
for the Republicans not voting for it.
Could have happened. Back to school. We talked yesterday about back to school. $67.5 billion already made available to elementary and secondary education. Less than 10% of that drawn down, so that means there's $60 billion still available for elementary and secondary education. This money isn't needed to get back to school. In fact, they don't intend to spend.
Roy Blunt is such a cool fucking name.
Less than 10%
a shitty
of the
fucking
school money
individual.
gets spent between now and September the 30th, when the new spending year starts. And the rest of it is scheduled to spend out between now and 2028. This is just.
Like, if my name was Justin Blunt, that would be cool. Like, I wouldn't have to make up the silly nickname.
And on the bipartisan front, this has already been well covered by my colleagues.
In 2008, I almost became Justin Zane.
On this big bill, 10 of our colleagues went down to the White House and said,
I was in
"We'd like to
negotiations with the radio
I think they
station.
had a very pleasant hour or so at the White House, but no hint of negotiation.
They told me
got
they
the
had a
time of
jock
day
that had used the name Justin
didn't
Hill.
get any more.
I got really upset that I didn't come up with that.
Today,
So I didn't want to use the Justin Zane
we're not
anymore,
even
so I stuck
talking
with
about
Freakin.
something that substantially impacts the size of the bill. It improves the size of the bill in an important way.
I could have just stole it.
Impact what money
But I
would
don't
be
like
spent
not
between
being
now
original.
and June in a significant way. It goes from $400 extra unemployment to $300 extra unemployment. Republicans are prepared to vote for that. But it's about one amendment and about less than a handful, maybe only a couple of Democrats that would like to join Republicans in passing that one amendment. And here we are in at least the 5th hour. Who knows when this discussion started this morning? We're in at least the 5th hour of explaining
Not
to those
9.5 hours, but
with the
we've still
Republicans.
yet to really reconvene the
It is
Senate.
not allowed to work with the Republicans. We will just sit here until you change your mind and keep not only the whole country waiting.
Holy shit! I said I was gonna stick with them until the top of the hour. They're
COVID relief that's in there.
not gonna show up by the top of the
that
hour.
many more hours.
I want to see
before
some action
we
on
get
the
to
Senate
final
floor.
Passage on this bill, all to show Democrats in the Senate you are not going to be allowed to work with Republicans. This is an incredibly dangerous way to start the Congress.
Also, that was one of the things we brought up last night. Ron Johnson requested the reading of the bill. He was not present in the Senate chamber for the reading.
Margins will change in favor of Republicans in 2 years.
Our Senate has failed.
Likelihood today.
I don't know what you mean by war on the right. Like, I'm not ready to take up arms against them. I will defend myself against them, and that seems very plausible. However, like, I believe we can reform the Senate. I do believe, I like electoral politics. I believe in electoral politics. I am more about electoral politics than I am activism. Activism has, everybody has their place, playing a part. It's a whole array process. And that's why I donate to activism.
And yet we have seen absolutely none of that. Now we know we have to kick COVID.
Zaddy.
That means focusing on those things that will get our economy up and going. First,
I will say that
that our population is vaccinated.
Senator Ernst,
Second, reopening our schools and our child care centers so that our moms.
she's not the worst looking senator.
Work. So we are talking large in part about the unemployment insurance amendment that is being offered.
She's not stupid.
Now,
She says stupid shit. She's not a stupid woman.
Our unemployment hovered
Those are the Republicans
Now,
that
a
I
year
hate the
later, We're
most.
still in the pandemic, but our economy in Iowa is recovering, and our unemployment.
Like, I'd probably talk to Joni Ernst, and she would act like she was my best friend. She agreed with me on everything.
But
They have
we
a
are
way of doing
struggling
that.
because employers who are trying to reopen their businesses.
That's the reason why they're politicians as
able
well.
to get their employees back to work.
If you've ever met a good politician,
With a lot of the enhanced
it is a
benefits,
thing of
they
beauty.
have
They
been
make
able
you
to make
feel
more
like you
money
are the
on
only person in the
unemployment
room.
insurance than actually going back to work. So
They
we
talk
have
straight
a
to you. They
bipartisan
address you by your
amendment
name.
that would have solved some of these issues. to
They
get
act
our
like they've
American
known
economy
you
up
your
and going.
entire
But
life.
unfortunately,
They
President
really
Biden
know how to,
put his
and
foot
like,
down
they're
and said,
sociopathic.
"Democrats, you won't work
Like, they
with
don't actually
Republicans."
give a
Not in my
shit.
administration. And that
It
is
really is a thing of beauty.
Unfortunate. And those that will suffer.
It's
all
that
of
type
us.
A
We
personality.
need that bipartisanship to come back. We've done it 5.
Oh, I would love nothing more than to Mussolini Trump. And that's exactly, like, that's all I can say on Twitch. I would love to Mussolini Trump. You get what I'm saying?
I was here at 9 o'clock, ready to go to work, for not just the people in Mississippi, but for the people in America.
I think that gets my
really
point
thought
across.
we would get something accomplished today.
Because I agree with you. An example does need to be
We
made.
have sat here for hours and not even closed the vote.
You could always go with the Gaddafi. If you're aware of what they did to Gaddafi.
In this building, and I'm still willing to work with everybody in this building.
That's always a fun option.
Day to work. The employers in Mississippi have voiced to me their need for this unemployment.
You call Saddam an old fashioned.
We have
right?
got to get past this COVID epidemic. We've got to let
I love that scene on Hateful Eight.
so everybody can have the dignity of the job. You know, some people they just can't be put in the position of power.
But I am totally on board with you. Also, there has been a lot of talk. I have thought about saying something about it. I'm only going to address it like this. There's been a lot of talk about a certain royal family. And I've had this. You can look it up on my social media going back 10, 15 years, probably all the way back to MySpace. Anyone calling themselves royal deserves oh shit, I can't say it that way. The boards. They deserve the boards.
Senator Thune, maybe you can clarify this. You mentioned that there was more Democratic senators than just Senator Manchin that have expressed willingness to sign on.
A Patriot unit will be sent to your address.
And then also,
that's fucking hilarious.
President Biden has personally called Senator Manchin and told him not to support the Republican bill. I just clarity on those 2 points.
Well, I don't know if I said that, but I believe that to be
Town square, let everybody spit on him. Shame.
In a couple of Joe Manchin being one, but there are to the degree
There are all kinds of options.
for the Portman Amendment, and
I like the fact that take solace. He will be broke. He will be broke. A year or two. It's not going to take long.
they've been shooting it down. I mean, they've been working their members over since 11 o'clock because this was going to be the next amendment up.
I love that they're focusing so much on the amount of time it's taking. The Senate chamber has emptied again. There was activity. There were people out in the Senate chamber. There's nobody there.
Simply because the Democrats didn't want to have a bipartisan amendment actually get attached to this bill that might make it better.
Yeah, this is more than
we could have a real nice Burning Man.
It makes everything.
That'd bring festivals back next year.
You ask him. Have you been on the phone?
Have an awesome Burning Man.
Supporting a compromise. If we were doing this, you'd be all over us. We could walk 5 feet down the hall. Why are you trying to?
Already, places are announcing concerts.
Why have you put the Senate on hold for 5.5 hours because you won't let 2 Republicans...
I've thought about buying some of the few shows that are on sale for 2022.
My challenge to the American media, why are we waiting 5.5 hours? What the
I
hell
could get
happened?
weekend tickets right
Have you
now.
ever asked a Democrat why...
Because goddamn, I'm going to go to a shit ton of concerts in
Republicans were willing to
2022.
work with you in the past, recently as December the 21st. We appropriated $1.9 trillion together, 96 to nothing.
I have no clue what's going on right now. They said a deal had been reached.
That existed.
I don't know that something else isn't going on. They're negotiating on something
Is that
else.
they're in charge of everything. They put together a bill to seize the moment, as Roy said.
Did the Democrats put the cart in front of the horse?
Most of the money in here goes to something other than COVID. They've been able to take the power they obtained, and they're not using it consistent with the rhetoric of President Biden, I think are the hopes of the American people. And if President Biden's going to use his time to destroy...
I want Lindsey Graham gone so bad. I hope there's some kind of criminal charges brought against him.
What's going on
stemming from Georgia.
What is it about Joe Manchin and maybe 1 or 2 others working with...
God,
it makes you want to stop the entire process.
Is there justice in this world?
That would be my challenge.
But just to be clear, there is more than one Democrat that has expressed interest.
Senator, well, under this, the way these 2 have been treated, I'd hate to be the one that said, yeah, I'm interested.
Senator,
Senator I believe
That's what, like, everyone sees right through them. They threw that lowball offer out with their gang of 8 or whatever they did, 10 that they went to the White House.
And then can you also tell us, there's a report about one of your colleagues having
I am so upset that the Democrats didn't, this is bad politically that they did not have 2K out the door.
About that. But the point is,
March right now, we should be negotiating another deal. If you're not going to do recurring payments, we should be talking about another 2K.
Senator Thune.
Right, makes sense.
How confident are you that you're going to have 50 Republican votes for the?
And I can't. And this is another thing I've been saying for months now. I can't believe that the business interests, especially when we were going into Christmas.
Absolutely confident you have the votes.
I thought for sure that we were going to see a robust stimulus because companies want people to have money to fucking spend.
To make sure that the votes are there, but I can tell you that
there's a pandemic going on.
And we don't know until we vote, and
we really need to address
which is why
Amazon has pretty much reaped all the benefits of this new era.
Told not to cooperate with Republicans. And to your point, the message from the House Speaker is, if this comes
what are you boycotting? Amazon?
We're going to send it back. So I think that
we need to do something to route others. That's why I wanted to promote my friend's candle shop, because I bought candles off of her instead of buying candles from ordering from Kroger on Instacart. Oh, absolutely.
One other question I have is
the only splurge I have is
Harper and the
I've only got a few options on Instacart. I don't have a car anymore.
Can you kind of get into
I used to only shop at my little small grocery store, the Star Market's what it's called. I love that place, man. It's the only place I can get my specialty cheeses. They have fantastic steaks. And that was the only place I shopped, ever. But then I turned in my car when my lease came up, and I was like, nope, I don't want this payment anymore.
That's
because I was working from home.
What we had hoped would happen is that if there were some changes made.
Yeah, I have not spent money at Walmart in 17 years.
Vote against amendments that would.
I was going to break that yesterday for a PS5.
In that direction. But
for some reason, I will break any of my fucking ethical rules for PS5. I don't know.
We're still on vote number 1 in a process.
17 years is a hell of a fucking run.
Probably has not been in ordering the amendments, so it might.
So I didn't work for Walmart. I worked as a vendor of Walmart
That's the problem.
2003.
What the Democrats wanted had less than 50 votes. So it doesn't matter what order they're in, if one of them has less than 50 votes.
And that, like, after that experience, that's when it was all over for me.
Before the vote, so who knows
I was a photographer. I was the last of the photographers that would go around and set up in the little small Walmarts and take pictures with film cameras, man. We had film cameras when I first started.
Of the United States, we believe. There you go. Good.
I just want to add something. If you guys have followed what Jay Powell did,
yeah. So that was the experience that completely turned me off of. And then like also like
we might have inflation. If you look at what's happening right now,
if you shop at Walmart, you're basically vacuuming the money from your local economy and taking it straight to Bentonville, Arkansas. It doesn't go back into your local economy and grow other shit.
$8 trillion worth of debt, which is too much. We're going to be at $30 trillion.
So it's very important to keep your money local in local banks. Try your best to use as many local companies as you can. Fucking patronize your friends. Like all your friends have side hustles now. Go to your friends for everything you can.
There is no way this is sustainable. So not only are they wasting money in this bill, Republicans are united. Republicans want to make sure that we help people that don't have a job, help our small businesses.
I mean, there's like certain shit like I'm guilty of like shopping from Wayfair too much because like it's easy to get shit shipped to me now that I don't have a car.
As interest rates go up, what happens? Mortgage prices go up. The cost of mortgages go up. The cost of buying a car goes up.
Oh man, like I used to be like completely against technology and really like being plugged in, and now I'm like completely plugged in. And one of the really cool things about that is I went to like a Staples or a Office Depot or whatever the fuck, and I tried out different like mice to see which one I really liked in person, and then like I Googled it. And after I Googled it, like a couple days later, Google popped up and had a like
Senate voting on amendments to the
this
nearly
$60 fucking mouse was like $15 after all like
so
the
far
rebates
rejecting
and
an
shit.
increase in the minimum wage,
So I went and
but
did
the
the
vote has
price
not
match
yet
at the
been
Office
called, as
Depot
the
or
measure
wherever the
has
fuck I
sat stalled
was,
for several hours on
and got that
the
$60
floor.
mouse
Though
for like
an agreement
$15,
had
$16. I'm like, I
has been
fucking love this
reached.
shit.
It extends supplemental unemployment benefits into September, provides tax
And
relief
then
on
also
benefits for
sometime
households
around that
making under
time, I watched,
and includes
there's a Vice document, I think it's Vice, it's something like that, about like the third industrial revolution. And it's this guy giving this talk about how, you know, like us feeding our data up into the system is the next step forward. As much as that we like our privacy and everything, that's how we can improve the systems that we have. And it really hits home with me because I was a traveling photographer working for Walmart. Like, you know, that's the early GPS. It didn't know where the fuck you were. It had no, like, it would wig the fuck out so bad. And now GPS can tell you to the fucking second how long you're going to be stuck in a wreck. And the way it's able to do that is because everybody's phone is feeding the data up, and like it blows my mind. So like for the good of humanity and to push us forward, okay, I'm gonna give in. Like, hey Google, turn my living room lights blue. So like, I agree, caution is required. Like I was really fucking. And that comes to the electoral politics of it. I believe that we need to have some sort of legislation that says we own our data, and that we can negotiate with these tech companies with our data instead of just giving it away for fucking free. So something, and like, I'm not a tech guy. That's the wording of that kind of legislation, but we need to have some sort of rights to our data, our digital footprint. Some nerdy motherfucker that's smarter than me needs to figure that shit out. I also believe that all companies should have to issue some sort of stock to all their employees. I think if you want to achieve socialism, that's the way you do it. By the workers literally owning the company through stock. Yes, correct. It's without the market manipulation and shit. Yeah. Not a revolutionary concept I came up with there, is it? Literally what it is originally for. Fuck, like this, what the fuck? There is something going on with the Senate presently, and it is weird that it was reported well over an hour and a half ago that a deal was reached on the subject that was delaying the Senate proceedings. Literal pirates. I get accused of being a pirate. The last actual 9 to 5 kind of job I had, because even it was a little different. I was doing AV installs. And my boss gave this whole speech about the reason we get paid so well to go in these places and look like a pirate. And I looked at him like, do you really think I look like a pirate? It wasn't always 9 to 5. Once again, I was doing AV installs. It could have been some weird fucking shit, but most of the time it was like working in the shop. You'd have to be there 9 to 5. And when I first started working there, I was finished with whatever the fuck I was doing about 5 minutes till, and I just was walking the fuck out because I'm not used to people being. I worked in broadcasting. I never actually had I had to be at work at a time, when shit had to be on the air, but I never had a set time. I mean, other than when shit had to be on the air. It's like when you do your work, you leave, I've never been used to these boxes. And that's why now working from home for myself is the happiest I've ever fucking been. Yeah, made you sit there until the exact minute. Said the boss was upstairs and see people walk out before 5 o'clock, get all pissed off. Fuck that shit. I quit jobs spectacularly. I've got fun stories of getting fired. That's what I hate when right-wingers bring up cancel culture. I've been fired from the radio station 4 or 5 times. Twice from the same radio station. Once from a volunteer position. How you get fired from a volunteer position? Can't perform stand-up in 2 or 3 venues in the city I went to college in. But yet I still say cancel culture is bullshit. Oh, also Justin Mullins is banned from Facebook. My actual Facebook profile. For the most part, yeah, I've been fired from most places. So one time I was told not to do stories. I had a funny news segment that played songs. It's like I was doing it for a little while. That's a whole other story about YouTube. It was called the freaking news. This was called the Z-Rock News back then on Z-Rock. I played songs that had something to do with the story under them. And then like the song would make like a little funny joke. And I got in trouble because like it was a story about this girl ratting her mom out for selling cocaine. And I played Eric Clapton's, she don't like cocaine. So like they told me not to do stories that made light of the drug problem. This was like 2007 2007. And a couple weeks later, some dude like walked into a courthouse with a joint in his two joints in his pocket, and I couldn't not do it. I couldn't not do it, man. Like, how the fuck? He walked in with 2 joints in his pocket in a courthouse. Smoke 2 joints in the morning. And that's what got me fired from the second time at that radio station. They were looking for a reason to fire me, though. That's what I was told. Like we had a management change, and I was under the old management. They wanted to get rid of the people from the old regime.
And the Senate again voting on amendments to the nearly $2 trillion COVID-19 relief plan. C-SPAN's Craig Kaplan tweeting earlier that the Senate has set a new record for its longest vote.
I don't think they voted on shit.
Keeping open the vote on the minimum wage increase amendment since 11:03 a.m. this morning.
Yeah. This is still the Bernie Sanders amendment that already failed.
2019. This ongoing vote now nearing 11 hours long. Votes on amendments are expected to continue throughout the night before a final passage vote on the COVID-19 relief bill.
So yeah, this is still the Bernie Sanders bill, or the amendment that Bernie Sanders proposed earlier today. I can't believe there's not going to be any action. I really wanted to see what a Vote-A-Rama looks like. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like we're going to get to experience it. At least not yet. See, I'm even getting a call. Uh-oh. I'm totally not stoned enough for any of this shit. Everybody's playing games tonight. I was gonna... Who else send you over to Ray? Oh, she's watching Tim Pool too.
And the Senate voting on amendments to the nearly $2 trillion COVID-19 relief plan.
I like sending people to, because I've got people that kind of, follow me as a personality. They're not really into the Twitch.
We'll take a look at the White House COVID-19.
So, especially like curiouser and curiouser, especially. So, like, I like sending her over to like different politics stuff, hang out for a little bit. People that are talking. People that are playing games tend to not talk and interact that. I'm going to send you guys over to Ray. I don't know. I might be back. I'll definitely be back tomorrow if they have a vote. We'll hang out and get stoned. Till then, go ahead, light one up, tip one back. It's all right to have a little fun before you hit the sack. I'm Justin Freakin. We'll see you Monday night. If I don't go live over the weekend on the Troll Patrol live.